Hello and welcome to the studio for another episode of Sunday Doodles with Andra. Look at these wonderful drawings. If you missed last week, check it out. We did this mother and child Mary and baby Jesus picture for Mother's Day. Thank you everyone so much for sharing your photos. There are some people who have told me that this gallery is their favorite part of Sunday Doodles. And these beautiful drawings are from our Easter Doodle. Awesome work. I love these. I'm thrilled that we have all ages participating. If you're drawing with people today, please show kindness and patience and help each other. And please show yourself kindness and patience as well if something seems to go wrong. Pause this video when you need to. Don't feel the need to catch up with me. You can practice this drawing as many times as you want to after the video's over. Ready to gather supplies? Get 6 or 8 pieces of paper to protect your tabletop, a regular number 2 pencil with a good eraser, just in case. Over here we're going to practice simple shapes that you already know how to do, and then we're going to use those to construct a picture. This time there's going to be another practice step in between. So we'll have the really simple shapes, and then we'll have the basic shapes, and then we'll have the picture over here. Let's draw a long curved line. It's not very curved, it's not curved like this, but it's kind of long. Let's draw one that curves down. Let me try that again. One that curves downward. We need to know how to draw an X shape, so it's a line that crosses over another line. Pretty simple. We need to know how to do a bumpy line like this. So all that is a series of rounded lines. So rounded line, rounded line. It's like just like a frown, a rounded, like that. We need a straight line. And a dot. This dot can be a circle dot, or it can be a tall oval dot. I'll show those close up. Here's the oval dot. Here's the circle dot. Either one works. So now we're done with our simplest shapes. We're ready to move to the next ones. So let's kind of practice putting these together. I'm just going to draw a little line to kind of separate. We won't need much space over here, so I'm going to draw another column. So let's start putting these together. So I've drawn this straight line across, and now I'm going to put this on top of it. And it can have 3 bumps, 4 bumps, 5 bumps, however many you want. You can practice that as many times as you want to. Notice that this point right here does not come down and touch the line. There's a little bit of space. Kind of looks like a cloud, huh? It's not a cloud, but it definitely looks like one. If this shape is difficult for you, you can just do a shape like this that has a straight line at the bottom and one rounded line at the top. That will absolutely work too. The other shape is pretty simple too, and I'll show you a few different ways to do it. First one is I'm going to make an X. I'm going to make a rounded line that comes like this, and then we have a fish. So it's almost like it's like drawing an X and then kind of like making a circle on the front. If you want a fish that's kind of pointed on the front, like a little pointed mouth area, here's a way, this is another way to do that. Start at the front, make a curved line that just comes a little farther down than the front. Start back here again and let them cross over just like that. I'll show you that again just in case. And if this is easier for you, you can make a frown and a smile and then give each one a little tail over here. Speaking of tails, you can leave it open like that, or you can close it like that, or you can use a wiggly line, and this gives it kind of a back fin. You can make a little indent, or however you like to do it. So here's where the dot comes in. Somewhere up here, I'm going to put a little circle or an oval, anywhere that looks good to you for an eye. And it's a really simple fish. If you want to put more detail, that works, but I'm going to go simple with these for mine. I'm ready anytime you are. This idea was suggested to me as a request by one of our Sunday Doodlers, and the design was submitted to me by another Sunday Doodler who's very talented. She's actually someone who taught me a lot of what I know. If you have a request of something you'd like to learn how to draw, be sure to send it over to me. I'd love to hear your ideas. I'm going to start with the fish right here. About that big. Right here I'm going to make another fish, but we won't be able to see the whole thing because he's going to pass behind this fish. They're kind of stacked on top of each other. So this line, we won't be able to see it because it goes behind the other fish, but it comes right there. It just disappears for a little while. Yours might line up a little differently. Maybe a different part of your fish is missing. Right about here, I'm going to draw a line. It's going to skip over the tail if needed. Come out about that far. This is going to be one of the first of those cloud things. And it's just going to disappear behind the fish, so you won't see all of it. And it can be either style, either the bumpy style or this style, because what this is it's a loaf of bread. Behind this loaf of bread is another one. It's going to start right here, but we won't see much of the bottom of this one because it's hidden. It disappears right there behind the other one. Mine might even show right there. I'm going to make these a little bit smaller as I go. There need to be 5 of them. And if they get smaller as they go, that'll help them feel like they're farther away. The farther away things are, the smaller they'll appear in the distance. So once you have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes, we'll be ready for the next step. You remember these long curved lines? We're going to use them for something else. We used them for the fishes before, but we're about to use them for something else. Right here, disappearing behind this loaf, I make a long curved line, like a very long, gentle, flat smile. From right here, draw a straight line that meets it. Right over here, another straight line that kind of disappears. It's going to disappear behind the loaf. I need this line and this line to be about the same height, so they end kind of about the same place. We're going to make another long curve. This one's a frowny curve that curves up. It curves upward from right there. Make a downward curve. This is a basket, and I'm going to put some texture on my basket. And while I do, I'm going to tell you the story that goes with these loaves of bread and these fishes. The stories in the Bible. One time Jesus went into the desert. He had done some healing of anybody who needed to be healed, and then he went into the desert, and the people followed, and they intended to stay there all night if they needed to listen to him teach. But he knew that they were probably hungry. I'm going to interrupt my story for a second. You can do this texture any way you want, but I'm going to go with 3 up and down lines, 3 vertical lines, and 3 horizontal lines, side to side lines. And I'm just going to put 3 there, 3 there. Or if you want to, you could just shade in your basket if that's easier. So Jesus knew that the people were hungry, and they found out that among 5,000 people who were out there, all that could be found was 5 loaves of bread and 2 little fishes. And that's not really enough to feed, it might feed maybe a family, but it's not going to feed 5,000 people. So everybody kind of knew that they didn't think it was enough. Jesus took this little tiny bit of food and he prayed over it, and he just thanked his Father for it. They started passing it out among all of the 5,000 people, and everybody ate until they were filled, and they had extra left over, and that's a miracle. I'm going to shade the inside of this basket just with shading because it's easier. We're about to do a little more shading. While we do, I'd like to ask you to think about being thankful. And there are people who say that it will change your life if you're thankful for everything. Like when the people thought there probably wasn't enough food, Jesus was thankful and there was more than enough. There are some people who will tell you that being thankful, even when you think that you have a problem, that they'll tell you that that will change your life. So I'm going to try it this week, and I'd like to ask you to try it this week to try to find more things to be thankful for. Even when you think you have a problem, to think of a way to be thankful for it. And next week, I'll tell you how my week went, and I will love to hear how yours went. If there was something great that happened because of it, I would love to hear that. So over here, I'm going to make my shadow just a little bit darker. And over here, I'm going to make my shadow a little bit darker. This is going to help the basket feel round. I'll put a little shadow at the base of the basket and a little bit over here. This is kind of the ground beyond it, below it. I'm going to put a little bit of shadowing on the bottom part of this fish and on the back and bottom of this fish, just a little bit of gray. Little on the tail. I put a little on the ground under the fish. I'm not planning to color mine, but you can if you want to. Absolutely. I would love to see some colored ones. Please send me pictures. It's what keeps me going, is knowing that you guys are watching and knowing that you send me pictures. I'd love to see a ton of drawings of this one during the week. Please send them. Right here on this bread, I'm just going to put a little bit of shadow, like it's brown on the top. If you want to, you can put shadow in other places too. And you can put as many details as you want. If you want to make your fish simple, you can leave them simple. If you want to make your fish detailed, you can make them detailed. I think this would look good with a signature somewhere right down here. And I'm just going to put my initials this time, but you can put your whole name if you want to. I hope you've enjoyed this doodle, and I hope you've enjoyed remembering that when we're thankful, God can turn what little we have into enough. Thank you again for drawing with me today. Send me pictures. I love seeing your pictures, and I'll only show them with your permission. To get in contact with me, look in the description underneath this video, and there's a link. It'll ask for your name and your email, and then we'll be in contact. I'll contact you right away. If you know somebody who would love to draw with us, please share this video with them. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday full of God's love and God's blessings. I'll see you next time on Sunday Doodles with Andra.